What's going on, everyone? Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate all of you. Those of you here in central Pennsylvania, I know it's storming outside, so we do appreciate you tuning in. We got a wonderful show. I got a special guest in the lab. I'll introduce him in a minute. We're going to learn a lot of things. We're going to have a wonderful discussion. Understand that this is going to be an interactive live like they always are. So make sure you put your comments in the comments section. We do see them almost instantaneously now. If you have a question, put your question out there. We'll acknowledge it the best we can. If you want looking for that shout out, put your name and where you're from in the comment section, and we'll give you that shout out that you're looking for. Welcome to the lab. Everyone get your pen and your pad. We're going to have fun right now. If you don't already know, I'm Coach Clee. I'm your host right now. I am your content creator, your book publisher, your favorite baker's favorite baker, and your podcast host and March 4ther. Thank you for tuning in. We've been going live for a little while now. We bring people in. We highlight people who've got businesses, products, or positive messages, and we get them on the lab, and we put that information out there. Again, anyone with a business product or positive message, we put that information out there. You see the scrolling below, you see the website, and you see that Cash App. Make sure you donate for the Cash App. All the proceeds go to the lab and benefiting the show. All right. And on the website, you can see workwithclee.com. Where's that? Got a bunch of wonderful things. Like I said, a book publishing company. We'll talk about that momentarily. But on the website, you'll see your first book I wrote March 4th. It's a motivational empowerment book on helping you find your own breakthrough. That's number one. It's on the website. Number two is No Shade All Light. Herb Thompson, Clarence Stokes, Jason Brown, and myself wrote No Shade All Light, 25 of your favorite quotes and what they mean to us. So it's over 100 quotes with meaning. Third book, hashtag grudge. Wrote that last year during the pandemic. You know, if you've ever made a mistake, if you've ever been angry, if you ever held on to a grudge, holding on to a grudge, like holding on to holding on to a hot piece of coal and expecting the person that you're angry with to feel the effect. Instead, you just need to let that thing go and start the healing process. And of course, the lab, the book itself came out earlier this year. 44, we've been going live for over 3 years now. We have 44 brave souls that each have a chapter in this book talking about their business product or positive message. And we're working on the lab part too. So if you want to be a sponsor or if you want to be in the lab and have the featured highlighted chapter, let me know, inbox me, text me, get a hold of me. We will get that information out there. Make sure you guys hit the like button on your way in, hit the like button, keep the engagements going on. We talked about the lab part two. We talked about book publishing company. One Way Publishing is the book publishing company itself. I'm excited to announce that if you've ever had a thought in your head and didn't know how to actually get that down onto a hard copy, a physical on a piece of paper, something physically in your hand, let me know. We can get that done from a thought to a finished product. I pride myself on our company can get that done for you in a decent amount of time too. So Shayla, I know she was in the back office. She wasn't there originally. Shayla, are you there? We're going to be moving to Shayla's showcase here in a minute. I think she is. All right, let's stand by. Shayla, you got your announcements ready? Yes, she does. All right, stand by. We got Shayla's showcase coming up.
Hi, everyone. Happy to be here for this week's Shayla Showcase. I know I was not connected a couple minutes ago, Coach Clee, but I did make it home in time. But first, we have Harrisburg area YMCA, the Camp Curtin branch. They offer a variety of programs for youth in the community, including programs for like before and after school, along with organized sports. In addition, they are doing Cornerstone, which is a new venture to create affordable housing in the uptown neighborhood. And last but not least, we've got Flavor 76. They are offering catering services, in addition to a variety of weekly lunch and dinner specials. You can find them and follow them on Facebook at Flavor 76 and make sure you check them out. I saw today they were offering the amazing quesadillas. They were back. So that is all I have for this week's Shayla Showcase. I don't know where Coach Clee is, if he can hear me, and why I'm still on the screen.
I was talking, but I was muted. Yep, thank you. You did a good job. I appreciate that. Flavor 76. We do have a video of their latest food, not this week's food, but last week's food. I see real quick. I see James Robinson's on. I see Philip Ding's on. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please tag, like, and share. I see Jamel Fleming's also on. Thank you guys for tuning in. Tag, like, and share. I'm gonna go to this video now, Shayla.
This week's featured meal from Flavor 76 was an amazing chicken sandwich with house-made chips, and the chips were something to die for. Make sure you check out Flavor 76 on Facebook and check out their weekly meal specials. They offer different lunch and dinners. Don't forget, check out Flavor 76 on Facebook. And while you're there, make sure you check out the latest episode of The Lab, hosted by Coach Klee, airing weekly.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys. I am seeing a couple comments on the other stream, on the Clark Tent stream. Leland Nelson's on. Thank you for tuning in. I can't post comments from the Clark Tent screen. We are live currently on YouTube. We're currently live on LinkedIn. We're currently live on Facebook on the Coach Klee page. So make sure, if you haven't already done so, make sure you subscribe and follow those pages or those links for future guests that'll be coming in the lab and for wonderful information. But right now, we're going to move into why you guys are really here. The meat and potatoes of the interview of what's going on here. I got a guy, he's my family. Not only that, he's a down to earth guy. He would give you the shirt off his back if needed. He's a plethora full of information, and he's going to be sharing a lot of information with us today. He's a business consultant, project coordinator for PADBE, and I'm not even going to try and explain what that is. He will definitely do that. You see the website posted right there below. He offers supportive services. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring to the lab Kyalo Crosson. Kyalo, how you doing?
Hey, Klee, how you doing, man? Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Good to see you. I know you were backstage for a little while doing your thing, but now you are here, and I appreciate you being here. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, of course, I'm Kyalo Crosson. Right now, I'm project coordinator for the DBE Supportive Services Center. That's a collaboration between PennDOT, Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, and ProRank Business Solutions. I've been working for ProRank Business Solutions for 8 years. I'm proud to say I'm employee number one for ProRank Business Solutions, and we offer business support services as well as diversity support services. We offer 23 different services to help all types of businesses, especially diverse businesses.
Okay. All right. Give him some lights, give him some hearts, ladies and gentlemen. He's no stranger to public speaking. He's no stranger to being, but this is his first time in the lab. I've known him. It's crazy. I want to say my whole life. I don't remember actually meeting you. I remember knowing each other as kids and doing certain events and playing together and being at reunions and things like that. And actually, as we grow, you go one way, I go another, and then our paths cross again. And our paths crossed not too long, about a couple weeks ago at a mixer at a hotel where we were basically just hanging out and networking, and then we got to talking a little bit, and I'm like, wow, this is the perfect topic and the perfect category to bring in here on the live itself. So I appreciate you finding it not robbery to go ahead and share some of your expertise with us. What exactly is ProRank Solutions?
Well, we're a company
Services.
that is dedicated and focused on diversity and building businesses for their brightest future. So right now we work directly with departments of transportations and
Mm-hmm.
other entities that want to see better diverse services for their businesses that participate with their agencies and things like that, and also helping with contract compliance also. So we have a lot of different services. Go to prorankllc.com under what we do, and you can see all the services that we provide, especially if some that can help you. Within the DB supportive services, we offer several business services. We have the DB, the Diverse Business Program. So if you're not a DBE under the federal program, if you're a veteran-owned business, if you are through the SBA as a small business concern, if you're registered through the National Minority Diversity Council or WeBank, the Women's Council, we can help you if you're a PennDOT business partner. So right now we focus with a lot of heavy highway firms and other types of entities that diversity is key. So any projects with federal monies that have diversity goals and things like that on it, but like the access into that world is sometimes seems like a high hurdle. A lot of times, if you think about all the Fortune 500 companies out here, they're all government contractors of one way or another. And a lot of good key foundations of a good company is having those kinds of business relations. And some of us have been scared off in the past through the paperwork, or oh, this is a federal contract, you're going to be highly scrutinized, you're going to be looked at. Hey, look, if you don't mind the bright lights, I know Clee, you was in sports, if you don't mind the bright lights, hey, come on out and play, because there's a real safe opportunity with government contracting, and that's what we're trying to convince a lot of diverse firms today to do. We do all of this, assistance with diversity applications and beyond. We'll help you understand the ropes. We have a business development program. We have a training reimbursement program, all to help you as the business be the best that you can be.
Gotcha. Eddie Gomez is on. Thank you for tuning in. So let's say someone who's doesn't know you and they're watching the live right now and they're interested in finding out information or more information. They reach out to you. They go to the website. And then what would be can you take us through a step-by-step guide on certain things that you can offer or assist them in trying to grow and build their business?
Well, one of the first things we can do is business development services.
Okay.
Okay, that's one of the key things: business development and support. So we can do customized support and technical assistance for development of the needs of a business. We do diversity consulting services, comprehensive diversity consulting for small businesses and government agencies. So even if you're an individual business and you or you're an organization or agency, like say for instance PennDOT, or one of the other entities around here, just name it, PPNL, or any one of the major utilities or service providers that have to receive government funds and federal funding. Look, we can help you. What we want to do is help the small business to the large business and the agencies to have that collectiveness, because we need equity. We need equity in adjudicating contracts. We need participation. We need utilization. We need parity in the market in order to overcome some of the structural deficits that have been put in place for especially diverse businesses. And even though there is a big question about diversity now, it's just not just a social issue; it's an economic issue more than anything. And what we try to do is we try to provide data solutions. We have a platform called ProRank Academy, which assists business. It's a whole platform just for diverse businesses and larger companies and agencies to come in and get to know each other and see each other physically. Because one of the problems in diversity is that, hey, oh, you guys don't exist. Oh, you're not on the list. Okay, forget all that. We had to provide a solution that is technically savvy and sound for people, whether you're on a laptop, you're on a tablet, or you're on your cell phone, to help you out. So we do have informational sessions coming up on September 29th, to help promote diverse businesses. So if you're a diverse business and want to learn more about us, or if you're already a DBE or a diverse certified business and you're looking to do business with heavy highway, federal aviation, or transit, we definitely can help you with those things. So from end to end, we'll come in and we'll get an email, we'll get a phone call, we'll solicit events. I run trainings twice a week, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, business trainings to help you understand how to work with PennDOT as a contractor or a consultant or a service provider. We also have courses on our services platform, which is ProRank Academy, every Thursday at 11. So tomorrow at 11, come to our site, learn.prorankllc.com or prorankacademy.com to learn more about what you can do. So we do offer for business, for pay, diversity services. But if you come in and you're already a diverse company that is certified and you're looking to work with PennDOT, we can help you, and those charges are covered through the program. So we want to make that aware to a lot of folks, because we believe that, parity in the market, like you said, how can you survive culturally when you only make up less than 1% of a whole economy, and that's the kind of the reality that we have in the state of Pennsylvania. So not to be political or anything, but just really understanding the reality on the ground. That's, politically, sometimes the word politics can be used as, I don't want to talk about that. That's just a word, and what we have to do is we have to talk about brass tacks and how we actually solve these structural problems. Because, if your kids are going to prison, your family is being, your house is being shot up, things like that, that's an economic problem. Poverty is economics. It's not because you just born a criminal, that's not it. So what we try to do is we try to let agencies know, larger businesses know, non-diverse businesses know that you have a responsibility to make sure that we have a tide, like we talked about, that lifts all boats.
Absolutely. I put the one of the links in the comment section itself right there. I see Sarah Fry Perez is on. Thank you for tuning in. Philip Ding also said, impressive work, Charlo. He's proud of the work, proud of your work, bro.
Thank you.
That's on the other stream. Absolutely. So I know we talked a little bit back in the back office before we actually went live itself. How did you actually get into being a business consultant and helping businesses grow? And how long have you been in the industry itself?
Oh, wow. I'll just start off with, I've been in the industry for about 20 years, 21 years. I started, I'm 43. I started doing this when I was 20.
Okay.
I came back, I went to Tuskegee University and learned a lot there. Came back home to be dedicated. I got a job with the city of Harrisburg, actually, on playgrounds. And I worked my way up. I started teaching computer courses and things like that. And then we won a couple state awards. And then I got approached when I was like 20 going on 21, to help write on a grant for Digital Divide. So I worked with a grant with Linda Rhodes, Jabal Boyd, with a grant from the Department of Education, with the Capital Area Intermediate Unit, and CareerLink, to come together to deliver free computer classes to folks who wanted them up in the Uptown Shopping Center. So that's really how I got started. I was 21 and just never looked back. And here we go. So worked with Cheney University on this very program, and we all met together, me, Kyron Robinson, and Wade West. We came together at Cheney, and we all worked there, and we worked on this same contract that we have now. So we went from being employees to employers on this contract. So it's a beautiful thing. So just being able to work with nonprofits, write grants, help write, community programs, and then now to help businesses on a very intimate one-on-one basis and watch them grow over years. It's a very, very rewarding thing.
Right. And not to call people out or call any businesses out. I'm pretty sure you can't do all that information right here on this live. But can you kind of share with us a little bit how you've helped either a person or a business, whether it's small or large, you've worked with them to actually become a better individual or a better business itself?
Well, I got a story with a good friend of mine. He started a flagging company. And in the middle of it, he was looking for some advice. I just came back up to Pennsylvania, and he was just starting from the beginning, didn't have anything too much going on. And he had some issues getting the certification. So with my knowledge, I was able to help him, navigate that process and really, hold account the agency that was trying to deny his application. So I wrote a letter to DC, to the actual Federal Highway Administration, to actually bring his case to light. And we went through a couple meetings and a couple things like that between the Commonwealth and Federal Highway and him. And then eventually he got his certification, because they weren't about to give it to him. But without that certification, he wouldn't have got the opportunities that were waiting for him, on the highway projects. So, after we got that, he was able to grow his business, have over 50 employees, be very successful in contracts for over 10 years now, and very proud of his development and work. He knows who he is. And, really thankful for that, got much love for him. And, that's just one story, of folks that, we just try to go and do the work, because that's what's important. And the results, I got to see a firm that I helped at the beginning when I first worked at Cheney, and I ran into him at APC, a conference that is usually down in Hershey every year. And I talked to him. I said, "Well, how's everything going?" He said, "Well, we're getting ready to retire." I said, "Wow, 10 years. I remember 10 years ago, you were just getting started, getting your feet wet, and you were in our reimbursement program. Now we're ready to retire. We're ready to, sell the business and things like that. We were so successful, and, thank you." And a lot of times, my grandma always taught me that sometimes thank you is the best payment you can ever get from someone. And that's what we do it for,
Thank you. I like that, man. Yeah, thank you is a good payment, and that kind of leads me into my next question with you. And what motivates you? What strives you to keep moving forward? What gives you the motivation to get up every single day and want to help people and educate people and give trainings and continue to be the bridge or the glue between someone not having the information and wanting to get to this point, and how to guide them through that trail? What motivates you for that?
What has really been my motivation is really my family. I come from a great dynamic family. You're part of that family, Clee. And straight up. So I come from a dynamic family where quitting and putting things off was just never accepted. And just understanding, coming from a driven family, a family who've been through a lot of adversity, who came to Pennsylvania, from South Carolina with no rights, for their rights and for a brighter day. And, I'm not going to let that go forsaken for one day. I was raised by some very great people, had some great aunties and uncles and stuff like that. And, just making them proud, you know what I mean? And every day getting up, making sure that I wear my name proudly, and right. I stand up for what I come from. That's the really biggest motivation, man, just to make them proud and making sure that I can take care of them and be there for them in the best way that I can be, man. So that makes me get up every day and makes me go out here and do the best I can, no matter what.
And if someone's watching right now and they're looking at you, let's just say a 12-year-old boy is watching, they never heard of you, never seen you before, and they're watching, they're like, wow, I want to grow up and be just like him. What kind of advice would you give the up and comers?
Believe in your dreams and don't give up, no matter what. Sometimes you got to be your own best friend and walk alone, but in the end, they'll come to you. You don't have to go to them.
Like Jay-Z said, that's the sound of the price going up. So let me ask you, not only that, what if you could go back in time and build a time machine and talk to yourself, have a conversation with yourself about an hour long? You only get an hour to do this. You get to sit down with a 10-year ago version of you. You sit down at a table. What kind of advice would you give yourself?
I think stay humble, take your time, respect other people's time.
Yeah.
Don't drink and drive. And just value people. You know what I mean? I think a lot of things that I grew up with. I watched myself make a lot of mistakes that I knew I was making. So I would just be like, look, pay attention to yourself. Be aware of yourself, and be comfortable with your shortcomings, but always strive to be your best self.
Self-actualized person. I like that. Yeah. So, in retrospect, what you had that hour to have that conversation with yourself, the 10-year ago version of yourself. Where do you see yourself in goals in at least like the 3 to 5 years or even 10 years? I like to say your end game goal, but that's really not an end game. But that mean that's something that you're still working and stepping toward and striving to accomplish.
Well, I want to be more like Howard Kawasaki, that fourth quadrant right there, where I'm sitting back and I've done things and I'm just watching them and maintaining them.
Mm,
Basically, I think I always want to be around and in the mix with things because there's always something new to learn every day.
hmm
So I want to be retired but not retired. You know what I mean? So just know that I put the work in and I've handed something to someone else that is fruitful, and given of myself, and it's like a book like Dr. Miles Monroe, rest in peace. He wrote a book called Dying Empty,
hmm
and I'm just going to work myself towards that E.
I like that. I followed Miles Monroe a lot on YouTube and read a couple of his books myself. So he was quite the mentor that I followed as well. So to drop that name is very substantial. I'm assuming he's some of the influencer. I know you said you come from a great family. Money dance on that. A lot of great aunties and uncles and other personnel. What other people have influenced you, or people do you look up to, or that you've studied and tried to implement it through the course of your life?
I think the biggest thing besides my grandma and grandpa was, Martin Luther King Jr.
Okay.
As a young man being forced thrown a lot of things his way. He
Mhm,
died at 39. I'm 43. So,
mhm,
just to understand what he went through and just reading his books. I mean, one of his greatest books is about this thick. It's not
hmm,
that large. It's not that big. It's called The Measure of a Man.
okay.
And that, you know, he just speaks to me. You know what I mean? I studied his life. I remember, one time I was in Atlanta and we had a radio show down there, and it was the night Barack Obama was elected. It was
Mhm,
election night, 2008. And I
mhm,
remember being fortunate enough to be there in Atlanta, to go down there to Ebenezer and say a prayer, at Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King's graves, and then be able to walk across to Ebenezer, the new Ebenezer,
mhm,
and see Barack Obama win Ohio
hmm,
and Pennsylvania.
hmm,
And the energy from that was just so fulfilling. I mean, to have a radio show on his same station,
right.
down in Atlanta for 2 years was a real rewarding thing for me. I read a lot of his books,
Mhm,
study his ideology a lot, and
mhm,
his understanding, his rise and his fall, and good and bad. But
mhm,
um, Martin Luther King Jr. A lot of authors. Um, there's Reverend Gray. If anybody remembers Harrisburg, Reverend Gray,
hmm,
he inspired me a lot when I was in high school,
okay.
about to go to college, and showed me a lot about manhood and standing in the gap.
Mhm,
Rest in peace. Mr. Adam Elliott, he was a good, great mentor for me. Larry Moore, he was a great mentor for me too in the workplace and things like
mhm,
that. I really, really thank him for all his encouragement and giving me the opportunities that I need to do to help me shine, and things like that. And big shout out to Jawal Boyd, who believed in me when I was that young to do those things that I was able to do.
mhm.
So, I could go on and on and on. Samuel Yet, Black Survival in America. Eldridge Cleaver, Solo on Ice. That was an excellent book. Taught me a lot about our society and what I might
Mhm.
be facing in my life. So a lot of those kinds of folks really inspired me and gave me a lot of that innovation.
Okay, and I know, and you said one of your mentors that you looked up to was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And something I learned in the back office today is that while you were down south in Atlanta, you had your own radio show in the same studio that he had his talk show, radio show as
Mhm.
well. I did
Yep.
not know that. What exactly was your radio show about? What did you highlight?
Oh, it was about current events.
Mm-hmm.
We covered the fall of the economy and the crash. We covered the election of 2008. We covered a lot of personal interest stories, things like wrongful convictions and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
A couple famous ones down there that was going on. And we also had pro sports radio. So we also did radio.
Okay.
With a lot of sports figures and things like that. And so we had a lot of great opportunities to convey our thoughts and our take on the day at that time. So it was very productive and great. So my good friend Kwasi Stanley, she was one of the big pieces of that puzzle. Without her, boy, let me tell you. And so we had a lot of great times, interviewed a lot of great people, celebrities, you know what I mean, you name it. We had a chance to sit down, a couple of mayoral candidates, you know, things like that, when they were coming around, just actually talking about the topics of the day and what was important to Atlanteans and beyond.
Okay. Cool. Interesting, man. Man of or the jack of all trades, man. And you said not I mean that kind of threw me off. For I know a lot about you. I didn't know that about you until the back office, but it doesn't surprise me because I know you're a people person. I know that you're not ashamed of the microphone. You're not ashamed to be on stage and all and things like that. And with that, how do you think that has helped you or molded you for ProRank? I know you said there's like 23 different developments or 23 different.
Services that we provide.
There you go. See, there you go.
Yeah, so I think it all started, you know, I thank my mom for that. You know,
Okay.
I grew up at AME,
Hmm.
Monumental AME Church, and you know, when it was time to do your recitals for Easter, she made sure I knew mine. And she, you
Uh-huh.
know, and then after that, it became plays and standing up in front of people and doing exhibitions. So just being raised in that kind of environment, and they didn't think it was robbery to, you know, give you a platform like that and be able to express yourself and show who you are and develop those skills Sunday by Sunday, you know, event by event. Also, you know, big shout out to Adrena Whitaker. She really was our YPD leader, you know, and you know, I was able to become a president of that department, learn parliamentary procedure at a young age, and really got involved with organizational development and things like that. So it really was an opportunity, man. That's why I really thank my family for really putting me in place in the position to do what I can do.
Okay. Nice, man. I'm telling you. What challenges have you faced over the years? Just going from different agencies to going from different learning institutions, dealing with people in general. What kind of setbacks have you or hurdles had to overcome, and what are some of the triumph stories that you can share with us that made you better?
I think one of the challenging stories was one time when me and Jawal were seeking cohorts and partners for our program, and
Okay.
we were it, you know, we were the one and two of the whole program, and we walked into this agency, and we had to sit down, and we were sitting at a meeting, and it was like, yeah, well, you know, tell your boss, whoever your superior is, to get the work to me, and maybe I'll give you a call back. And we looked at each other and was like, we're it. And he just had this look of little lightweight disgust and disbelief in his face. You know,
Hmm.
that this baby faced kid and this dude right here, you know, this other black man, that you, how we dare we come into his office and ask for partnership, you know, and in relations with their agency and what they do. So that was something that, you know, even if you're walking in and you know who you are,
Hmm.
people don't. And like I told you in the back office, it was like sometimes my grandma always taught me, sometimes it's about the benefit of the doubt
Hmm.
and what we give each other as far as the benefit of doubt, the content of your character,
Right.
you know, those kinds of things. And you know, I walked in, I thought I was dressed pretty nice. I thought I, you know, had my you know, smile on and everything like that. But then, you know, just to be dismissed like that a little bit, it really
Hmm.
taught you about, and I learned later about how minimalization works
Okay.
and how minimalization is a tool of the haves against the have-nots.
Hmm. You were, yeah.
So don't never let anybody minimize your dreams. Don't let anyone minimize your efforts. You know, just make sure that you're doing the work that needs to be done and you're succeeding at that work. You know, sometimes people judge you, they might grade you, but the knowledge that you get from that is everything. And
Hmm.
nobody can take it away from you.
Hmm.
So, you know, just to go through that, to be able to come back and have them, you know, become a partner. We developed programs together, you know,
Hmm.
and things like that. That was kind of like the triumph within the triumph, you know what I mean? So it was like we were able to use that situation and capitalize with it, and still we're able to make, you know, a good relationship. And it helped hundreds, if not thousands, of people get education and better job skills and things like that through the process. So I was happy about that, even though it didn't start off the best. It worked out. So because a lot of times if you leave the emotions out of it and
Hmm.
keep your passion in it,
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You'll be able to get your skin a little bit thicker and things like that. So, I really think I'm really fortunate to have those kinds of experience young, because I didn't have too many peers at that time, and I
Mm-hmm.
was a little bit alone a lot, doing what we did. There was only a couple of us doing what we were doing at that time. Most of my friends were still in college, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and just to be able to achieve that, was a great story for me.
Yeah, and something that you said just resonated with me. Your passion gets you through it. Sometimes you got to set your emotions aside, because as you're going after your dream, as you're going after your passion, as you're trying to make things go, you're going to come across quote unquote haters, or people, crabs in a barrel, people trying to keep you down, hold you back. Your feelings are going to get involved. Of course they are, because it's something that you're passionate about. You get thick skin. You learn how to get tough skin through situations. They say enjoy the journey, because the journey is what gets you to the end result. Sometimes the journey doesn't seem like it's fun, but it's necessary. Can you explain a little bit on how the passion does get you through? Because there's times you're at the top of the mountain and you feel like you're invincible and think you're just soaring and you're just flying off energy. And there's other times where you're down at the bottom of the valley and you don't see the light. There's no way to get out of it. There's no hope, but you just keep drudging on. How does that passion, how do you find that burning desire within inside of you to keep moving forward, or keep marching forth, as we like to say here?
Yeah. I mean, I can only say it personally, really, is because I fell from a high place before and had to get back up. I had a lot going for me. I made some mistakes, and I had to find my strength on my knees.
Hmm.
So when I was on my knees and hands and knees, that's
Mm-hmm.
where I was at my strongest, because I had the world on my back. See, when
Gotcha.
I was up in the clouds, my head was in the clouds, my head was all big. I was floating like a big balloon. And then that balloon went pop. And then you really found how strong you really are, because first you gotta survive the fall.
Yeah.
And then you gotta assess the damage. And then you gotta start picking yourself back up.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times you find out who you have with you on the way
Mm-hmm.
down more so than on the way up.
Exactly.
And I was fortunate. I had a lot of people with me, and they helped me, and I just understand that no one's above failure.
Mm-hmm.
No one's above failure,
Mm-hmm.
but failure is usually one of the key ingredients to continued sustained success.
It is. They say that to get to success, you just keep moving from failure to failure to failure till eventually you get to success.
Yes, and it's all about the win. I mean, I grew up in Stilton, and it's a little town with a big heart and a lot of competitiveness. And
Mm-hmm.
so, if you wanted to get on that court, you had to prove yourself. If you wanted to run, you wanted to catch a run, you had to prove yourself. You had to show that you had what it took,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't going to happen for you until you did, and you had to earn your respect every day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it was the toughest place in the world to grow up, but it was one of the best places I could ever grew up in. As far as the diversity and the understanding, because a lot of people don't know what it's called, be called the N word while you're walking to school. You
Mm-hmm.
know, if you grow up in a certain part of Harrisburg or something like that, you might not know what that's like. You might not know how to recover from that.
Mm-hmm.
You might not understand competing influences where you can do a lot of good and do a lot of bad all in the same day. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and maybe nobody knows the wiser but you. And so
Interesting.
growing up in that environment, knowing that iron sharpens iron every day, and
Mm-hmm.
if you wanted to have a peaceful life, you had to understand that you had to create your space. You know, that's how it is. That's how it is, and that's how it's always been.
Jumping along and fighting, absolutely. I know you discussed a couple books, one by Martin Luther King Jr. You discussed a lot of people who had helped you along the way, people that you've looked up to, people who have mentored you. You discussed a lot of situations as well, that kind of things were going a certain way and they went either right, left, or straight, or whatever what was going on. Is there anything in particular that you haven't shared with us? A story, a book, a person, a situation that also had changed your life that you could share with us, that can actually help us and or someone else who's not watching right now, who may be watching the replay later, make their life a little better, or just something something inspiring, something that's changed the direction of your life?
I say it's an odd book. I mean, it might not relate, but what I got from it was everything. And it was a story, short story by Alice Walker called Everyday Use.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And it
Uh-huh.
really helped me respect my roots and where I was going in the future, as far as my family was concerned.
Okay.
It kind of gave me a lot of understanding about how people can come from different ways and come to the same place.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the first books I read at Tuskegee,
Okay.
about that story. I was in honors English class, and it it inspired me to write a book about my own childhood.
Hmm.
Write a short story about my own childhood. It
Okay.
involves really much me and my grandfather, and
Mm-hmm.
the things that a man who's been through the things he went through, that he didn't really verbalize everything that he went through. He just had a lot of wisdom with what he went through. I was told by others about the things that he'd been through, and the triumphs and the trials and tribulations, and understood, a lot about what it takes to live a life fulfilled,
Hmm.
to leave a legacy,
Mm-hmm.
and the importance of that, and how driven he was to provide for his family. And that everyday use, the relationships between, and it's about three women, it's about a mother and two daughters.
Okay.
And it's just that the one daughter, she just thought that, she was, super, educated and things like that. And they had these old family quilts.
Hmm.
And the mom was going to give the other daughter, who stayed at home, didn't go to college or anything, the quilts, because she was getting married.
Uh-huh.
And it was like, why are you giving her those quilts? Those quilts are heirlooms. They belong in the museum. They belong in this. He said, no, baby, these were made to sleep on. These are quilts.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a journey that the one daughter had to go on, of self-realization,
Mm-hmm.
to understand what life was about. And then also, since we're in the digital age a little bit, I'm very cinematic.
Okay.
So there's this movie called About Schmidt, with Jack
Mm-hmm.
Nicholson, who talks about, he's a man at the in the fourth quarter, we like to say, retiring from his job.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in this bubble for like 30 years, and he just came out of it, and he started realizing things, things about his wife, and then he lost his wife. And then he after he lost his wife, he realized that he lost his wife, because he really didn't appreciate her too much until she was gone. And then he had to try to go back and reunite with his children, who he kind of
Mm-hmm.
alienated, because he was just a work dude. He just went to
Yeah.
work every day and did his thing, and was kind of oblivious, and had to go through that journey of reconciling with them, realizing, then reconciling with them, in hopes of having a relationship before he ultimately left this earth.
Hmm.
So, besides everyday use, which talks about the utilization, and the practicalness of life,
Mm-hmm.
always try to stay realized in the reality of what things are. Not exactly, things aren't always what we want them to be, but
Mm-hmm.
things aren't always as bad as they are. But there is a reality that we have to stay in touch with, so we don't lose ourselves and wonder about Schmidt.
That's crazy. I never saw that movie. I heard about it though, and it's very realistic too. No matter what generation you are, there's a certain time frame when you start working, you mean well. And you just put your head down and you just start grinding. And in the process, you do have all these other, you have your family going on, you have public events going on, and you're there physically, but you're not always there mentally, because work is always on your mind and you're constantly grinding, so for 10, 20, 25 years, even 30 years of your life, you're giving to this 9 to 5 Monday through Friday traditionally, for a company that you retire, and then once you retire, it's kind of like you're automatically replaced within 2 weeks to a month, as somebody at a lower rate, and then you look back and you're like, what have I done? What's going on? And your kids have grown up. Life has passed you by, and I've seen it a couple times, not in the course of reality, where people look up and they're like, I don't even know who I am. I don't
Yeah.
even know what's going on in my life. I know who my kids are, but I don't even know my kids. And they come to that same realization, like you just explained. I think that's interesting, because it goes back to the comment that we said: you got to enjoy the journey. Don't, just because you are working, just because you are grinding, you still have to stay in tune with what matters, because what matters is what's going to be that prolonged effect after you get done grinding in that arena that you're playing in.
Exactly. I mean, and it takes drive to live your passion. You know, what
Mm-hmm.
I do every day for businesses and what I try to do for businesses every day, it's a passion. It's
Mm-hmm.
something that I'll do for free, you know, because I want to see people succeed. I want to see us as a culture and as a people to be able to really see what our just due is. And we're responsible for that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to do that, but we have to make sure that we are prepared for that, you know, prepare for that success. You know, like I said, like for a lot of us, the alliance model is a dead model, but it's coming
Mm-hmm.
alive again, where we have to not see ourselves as competition, but as opportunities for growth,
Mm-hmm.
and know how to create supply chains and team build across sectors and industries to be able to understand that we have to walk together shoulder to shoulder, not in a line or not like a bunch of crabs in a barrel.
And that goes back to, like we were saying again, like networking. It's a beautiful thing. Something that I think we try to do. We talk it up as a big game. I don't know that we do it as well as we could. You can always improve. But I mean, in the masses, just by helping each other, we all rise together. By us all helping each other climb a tree, you're helping someone else climb a tree as you're helping them pull them up. They're helping you pull yourself up as well as you get to the
Yeah.
top. I know I've seen it in sports. I've seen it in military. I've seen it. I'm going to get mine, and I hope you get yours in the process. I'm going to be top dog. I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to grind, put my nose down, and keep grinding. And I'm going to do it all by myself. I'm going to pull myself up by my bootstraps, be a self-made man, and did all by myself. Now I have this empire, and now that I have this empire, I think I'm going to go ahead and reach out and branch to people. I think that's the mentality of a lot of people that I have known and do know, and it's a shame because we're designed to be in groups. We're designed to help each other. We're designed to network. And I may know how to hammer a nail, and someone else may know. I'm not an electrician, but my buddy over here, he's an electrician. So you get together with him, you partner up, bam. Someone else
Mhm.
carpentry, and eventually you have within the network of friends and community, you have everything you need to build a business. While one person focuses on one thing, another person focuses on another.
Yes, yes, and through that united stand, we can make an impact on markets. I mean,
Hmm.
just speaking from a straight economic standpoint, there's strength in numbers.
Hmm.
You know, there's always strength in numbers. And there was a time where bees didn't make hives, but they make hives now, and that's why they've been around a lot longer than we have, because they had to learn a lot more lessons. You know, because just because. And you know, a lot of times, like Cleve, for real, like we see a lot of apathy in the world right now.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of apathy towards each other, a lot of apathy but towards our history,
Hmm.
and you know, actually are running away from our actual reality. You know, because we got here somehow. How did we get here today? Because of
Hmm.
yesterday and the day before that and the day before that. So
Hmm.
how can you just disregard that and not take any knowledge from that? Because that's the only way you can get wisdom.
Yeah. Interesting point. Interesting point, man. We had a great conversation, and I'd love to keep it going, and I'd love to pick your brain throughout the course. I know we're going to talk in the future. Trust me, we definitely will. But through the course of conversation, I know you gave us a plethora full of information. You're conversating with you, it may have jogged your memory, or there may have been something I skipped. Right now, is there anything that you would like to rehash or share with us? Right now, the floor is yours.
Oh, no doubt. Hey, everybody, just make sure you check out ProRankLLC.com and take a look at what we do and what our mission is. And then take a look at ProRankAcademy.com, and you can join with a free account. And if you have a small business, a diverse business, hey, you get on, we can help you. And there's a lot of information already on there, and we're looking to add more. If you're a subject matter expert, come on through. We can help you. To market your business, market your services, things like that, because we're trying to eliminate the excuses. So I think we had a great conversation, Clee. I just want to tell everybody, just make sure you do believe in your dreams, and keep pushing towards that brighter day, because we're going to get there together.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming in the lab. I appreciate you donating your time. Stand by real quick. I've gotta take a little pause for the cause and put some information out there, and we'll jump right back into it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you guys for tuning in. I truly appreciate it. It's Coach Clee coming at you. Who is your content creator, your book publisher, your favorite baker's favorite baker podcast host, and March 4th. I appreciate you guys. We have fun. We have a lot of information that we'd like to share. You're in the lab. I tell everyone that this is I put on the put on. I do this because if you've got a business, a product, or positive message that you're looking for a platform to get that information out on, let me know. I'll schedule you. We're going live again a few more times this month. We're going live in the month of October. I know I've been saying it. I promise you, it's coming down the pipeline. It's very true. The show will be revamped. We got the different background. We got a whole new lineup of individuals coming on the show. So make sure you guys stay tuned. I hope you guys learned a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. My cousin's right here. He had ProRank services. A lot of good information. I'm gonna bring it back here. I want you all to evolve so hard and remember to live your life with a purpose. There we go. There we go. Let me split the screen. Yeah, I like that look better. All right. Can you hear me?
Yep, just fine.
Charlo, I got a special guest coming in the lab again, probably tomorrow, honestly. I got a special guest coming in the lab. Do you know who they are?
No, who is that?
You got to tune in and see.
For sure. I definitely will.
Eastern Standard Time. We'll be in the lab again tomorrow. But for coming on the show, I do appreciate, because you donate your time, and time is a valuable commodity. I do have a special gift for you that I'll make sure that I get to you. I want to show my appreciation for sharing your time and sharing your knowledge with us. So I got a gift that I'll get to you relatively soon. We'll line up and we'll get things done. Right. But any final thoughts, any final comments before we log off?
Hey, Coach Clee, I love what you're doing. Your books are great. And look, remember that time we was at King's Who Cook, right? You had your pineapple turnover, right?
Upside down cake, yeah.
A pineapple upside down cake. Me and my uncle were over there doing our thing, man. So you know how we do. We're gonna see each other, and just much love, man. And I'm gonna support you here, and you're doing great.
Thank you. Likewise. I appreciate you. Come on the show. You're dynamic. I'm looking forward to watching you continue to thrive and watch you grow. I'm more looking forward to the people that you assist, and I hear nothing but good things about you. Thank you very much.
Good to hear. Thank you, man. You have a good time.
Thank you. You too. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys tune in tomorrow. Talk to you later. Peace. Right.